If your money disappears the second it hits your account, you're not in control. You're just managing the exit door. Let's get honest. Most people aren't building wealth, they're cycling money. It comes in, it goes out, and at the end of the month, they're left wondering why nothing changed. That's not a money problem. That's a control problem. If you're serious about becoming your own bank, the first move is simple, but not easy. You stop renting your life. Right now, every expense is a claim on your future. Your subscriptions, your habits, your just this once spending, it all adds up to one thing. You're prioritizing today's comfort over tomorrow's control. And here's the shift most people avoid. You pay yourself first, not last. Not if there's anything left, first. This is the line between consumers and builders. When money hits your account, a percentage of it should immediately move into a separate place, your wealth account. This is not your emergency fund. This is not your spending money. This is your ownership fund. The goal is simple: accumulate capital that gives you options. And no, this doesn't require a massive income. It requires a decision. Start with a number that makes you slightly uncomfortable. Not reckless, but enough that you feel it. Because if it doesn't change your behavior, it won't change your results. Now here's where most people break. They treat their savings like it's available. They dip into it. They justify it. They borrow from it. That's not ownership, that's leakage. Banks don't operate like that. They don't treat their reserves like a casual backup plan. They protect them. They grow them. They deploy them strategically. You need to adopt the same mindset. Your wealth account is untouchable unless it's being used to create more wealth. That means no impulsive withdrawals, no emotional decisions, no exceptions disguised as rewards. Because every time you break that rule, you're reinforcing the identity of someone who can't hold money. And identity matters more than tactics. If you see yourself as someone who never has enough, you'll always find a way to prove it. But if you start acting like someone who builds reserves, protects capital, and plays the long game, you'll create evidence to support that instead. This is how you shift from reactive to intentional, from spending what's left to deciding what stays, from hoping things improve to structuring your life so they have to. And here's the part most people underestimate. This isn't about restriction. It's about power. Because when you control your money at the point of entry, everything else gets easier. Your decisions sharpen. Your stress drops. Your confidence builds because you know you're not just earning, you're keeping. That's the first step to becoming your own bank. Not more hustle, not more income, more control. If your money is sitting still, it's quietly losing value and you're the one paying for it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Working harder will not make you wealthy. It might increase your income share, but if your money isn't deployed, you've just upgraded your treadmill. Being your own bank requires a mindset shift that most people resist. Your job is not just to earn money. Your job is to assign it a mission. Every dollar that comes to you should have a role. Either it supports your life or builds your future. If it's doing neither, it's dead weight. And idle money is dangerous. Inflation eats it. Opportunity cost drains it. Time, your most valuable asset, passes while your money does nothing. So what's the move? You start thinking like a capital allocator, not just an earner. Banks don't let money sit around. They lend it, they invest it, they use it to generate more money. That's the entire model. You need to do the same on your level. Now, let's be clear. This doesn't mean throwing money into random investments because someone online said it's a great opportunity. That's not strategy, that's gambling with better branding. It means building intentional exposure. You ask, where can my money realistically grow? What do I actually understand? What level of risk am I willing to take and why? Because yes, growth requires risk. And no, avoiding risk doesn't make you safe. It just guarantees you stay where you are. This is where most people stall. They wait until they feel ready. They tell themselves they need more knowledge, more certainty, more confidence. But confidence doesn't come before action. It comes from it. So you start small, but you start. You learn by doing, investing in assets you've researched, tracking performance, adjusting based on results. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be in the game. And here's the key distinction. You're not chasing quick wins. You're building systems that compound. Compounding is where the real shift happens. Not in a single big move, but in consistent, repeated decisions that stack over time. This is how money starts to work harder than you do. You invest, it grows. You reinvest, it grows faster. You stay consistent, it accelerates. At some point, your effort becomes optional, but your systems keep producing. That's the goal. Now, let's address the emotional side because it will show up. You will feel uncertainty. You will question your decisions. You will see others making different moves and wonder if you're missing out. Good. That means you're stretching. But here's the rule. No emotional investing. No reactive decisions. No chasing noise. You operate on logic, not hype. Because the moment you let fear or excitement take over, you stop being a bank and start being a gambler. And gamblers don't build wealth. They chase it. So lock this in. You don't need more hours. You need better deployment. You don't need perfect timing. You need consistent action. You don't need to get rich quick. You need to get strategic and stay there. That's how you shift from working for money to having money work for you. You don't lose money in big, dramatic moments. You lose it in small, unnoticed leaks that run all day. Most people think financial control is about how much they earn. It's not. It's about how well they manage the movement of money. Because here's the reality. If you don't control your cash flow controls you. Money comes in and disappears into bills, habits, and untracked spending. No visibility, no intention, just repetition. That's not a system. That's drift. And drift is expensive. Being your own bank means you take full ownership of the flow. When money enters, where it goes, how long it stays. Banks obsess over this. Timing is everything. They don't just care about how much, they care about when. You need that same precision. Start with awareness, not estimates, not guesses, exact numbers. Track every inflow. Salary, side income, unexpected cash. Then track every outflow, fixed expenses, variable spending, silent subscriptions. Yes, even the small ones. Especially the small ones. Because those insignificant expenses, they're the ones that slip past your attention and quietly drain your control. Once you see the full picture, something shifts. You stop reacting and start deciding. Now you can ask better questions. Does this expense create value or just comfort? Is this aligned with where I'm going or just where I've been? Would I choose this again if I had to justify it today? This is where discipline shows up, not as restriction, but as clarity. You're not cutting things randomly. You're eliminating anything that doesn't serve your bigger objective, building control and capacity. Next step, structure. Because tracking alone doesn't change anything. You need a system that directs your money automatically. This is where most people rely on willpower and fail. Willpower is inconsistent. Systems aren't. So you build rules. A fixed percentage goes to your wealth account immediately. Essentials are covered next. The rest is intentionally allocated, not casually spent. You remove decision fatigue. You reduce friction. You make the right move the default move. Automation is your advantage here. Set up transfers. Schedule allocations. Create barriers between spending and saving. Why? Because the less you rely on daily decisions, the more consistent your results become. And consistency is what builds power. Now let's talk about timing, the piece most people ignore. If your expenses hit before your money is allocated, you've already lost control. So you flip it. Allocate first. Spend what remains. This single shift changes everything. You're no longer reacting to expenses. You're dictating limits. And here's where it gets interesting. As your control increases, your stress decreases. Not because you're earning more, but because you know what's happening. There's no guessing, no anxiety, no where did it go moments. Just clear, intentional movement. And that's what separates people who feel stuck from people who build momentum. They don't just earn money. They direct it. They don't just hope it works out. They design how it flows. So understand this. Control isn't about having more. It's about managing better. Because when you control the flow, you control the outcome. And when you control the outcome, you're no longer playing defense with your money. You're running the game. If your finances depend on how you feel today, you've already lost tomorrow. Motivation is unreliable. Discipline fades. Life gets busy. So if your financial growth depends on you staying consistent, you're setting yourself up for inconsistency. Being your own bank isn't about trying harder. It's about building a system that works, even when you don't feel like it. Because systems don't negotiate. They don't get tired. They don't make excuses. They execute. Here's the shift. You stop asking, what should I do with my money this month? And start deciding, what does my system automatically do every month? That's how you remove chaos and replace it with control. Your system should follow a simple, repeatable cycle. Income, allocation, growth, reinvestment, repeat. Let's break that down. First, income. You earn with intention. That means you're not passive about where your money comes from. You're increasing your capacity through skills, opportunities, or smarter positioning. But income alone doesn't create freedom. What you do next does. Second, allocation. The moment money comes in, it gets divided automatically. A percentage to your wealth account, a portion to essential expenses, a controlled amount for lifestyle. No guessing. No, we'll see what's left. It's already decided. Third, growth. This is where your money goes to work. You invest. You deploy. You put capital into places where it has the potential to expand. Not randomly. Not emotionally. Strategically. Because your goal isn't activity, it's progress. Fourth, reinvestment. This is the multiplier most people ignore. When your money grows, you don't pull it out to upgrade your lifestyle. You recycle it. You take returns and feed them back into the system. That's how compounding accelerates. That's how small gains turn into real leverage. And finally, repeat. Not occasionally, not when you feel motivated. Every single cycle. Because repetition builds momentum, and momentum is what makes the system powerful. Now here's where this becomes real. You design your system once. Then you refine it, not reinvent it. Too many people keep starting over. New budget, new plan, new strategy, but no consistency. That's not growth, that's distraction. Instead, you track what works. You adjust what doesn't. And you keep the structure intact. This is how you build something that actually scales. And let's address the deeper layer, identity. Because at some point, this stops being about tactics. It becomes about who you are. You're no longer someone who hopes to save, tries to invest, attempts to be better with money. You become someone who allocates automatically, invests consistently, operates with clarity and control. That identity shift is what locks everything in. Because when your behavior matches your system and your system matches your goals, progress becomes inevitable. No more overthinking. No more starting from zero. No more financial chaos. Just structure, just execution, just results. And here's the payoff. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need constant motivation. Your system handles the pressure. That's what makes you unstoppable. Not luck, not timing. Structure that runs no matter what.